each other. I'm not sure they have that much experience teaming with each other per se, and it hasn't been in a while either because Wobbles has been off in Texas. So their team synergy has been better, and Silly Kyle and S2J, of course, they don't see each other very often at all. Mostly Silly Kyle's fault, but you know.
Silly Kyle does not travel basically at all.
So it's going to be a matter of, I think, which team works out the best with their character matchups and their synergy with each other. I was seeing a few miscues between Wobbles and Axe, but at the same time, Axe is probably one of the more knowledgeable players about the ice climbers in the world, period. Little known fact, he's probably one of the top 5 ice climbers players in the world if he were to ever to play ice climbers. He's just, from playing Wobbles so much, from having trouble playing Wobbles and researching the character a lot, he knows what Wobbles is going to want to do. So that's my guess for who's going to have the synergy. Now, the other problem that Blue Team is going to deal with, though, is S2J, because Falcon kind of destroys ice climbers at the high level. He can go in with knees that are very, very safe and just break the ice climbers up for free. Yeah, and we saw Mango do that to devastating effect at Kings of Cali 3. Wobbles did not win that set. So if he applies that strategy here, Wobbles may be in trouble.
He can move extremely fast, cover a lot of space, but Axe is going to get one of his signature captures, throw him off stage, but both of them will lose their stock. There are lots of commotion going on in the center of the stage. Wobbles is going to drop back, sit on the platform, and throw out some ice blocks, but S2J will go up there and call him out for it.
All right, S2J has got Axe off stage, and that gives him all of the time in the world to play with Wobbles. Silly Kyle's totally just sitting there with a turnip like, I'm going to throw this when someone gets by. No. But Axe gets by, breaks it up. That's one thing that Axe and Wobbles will definitely want to do is get Silly Kyle in a position where he can't come to S2J's aid. Peach is a slow-moving character. That is to say, her horizontal and her vertical are not that fast. Meaning, if you split her off, if you're able to isolate her, that's probably her greatest weakness in teams. You can focus on her teammate. And Falcon is a fast faller. He's someone that both of these characters are very, very good at taking out very quickly.
So after the simultaneous kill on both Peach and Ice Climbers, we saw S2J and Axe get locked into a small 1v1 there for a little bit until Wobbles respawned and was able to knock S2J off Axe. But oh my gosh, that was a solid hit to take that stock off Axe. Axe now down to 2 stocks. S2J sitting at the same now after a huge hit sitting at, oh my gosh, but he is going to make it back to stage.
That is,
the
you
up
must
smash
recover
from Axe.
number 3 right there. We've got Silly Kyle on 3 stocks right now, and that's huge. So that means Silly Kyle is stock tanking. He's even at low percent. He's stock tanking on Dreamland versus Axe and Wobbles. That means that S2J has all the room in the world to be as offensive as he wants, and once he does drop stocks, there is a reservoir waiting for him.
Now, S2J's great movement and high speed makes him so dangerous in this situation because it basically means that Wobbles and Axe can never really truly set up a 2v1 since S2J is never more than a quick dash away.
What they want to do is set up a 2v1 against S2J, and they want to use that to drain Silly Kyle's stocks, because you are not going to kill a Peach on Dreamland very quickly.
Well, they have both
very
the blue
nice.
team. Oh.
That forward air, I want to point out, it hit S2J, but it was still absolutely worth it. That is Silly Kyle saying, no, you are not going to encroach on our space. I don't care if my partner has fallen back. I'm still going to throw this out. I'm still going to keep this space. This is an almost impossible scenario for Axe right now, especially given the gorgeous team combo that they just almost pulled.
Oh, but he hits him with the cloud.
Axe is like, okay, I'll just do something silly right now and throw you off guard.
If you saw, it felt like an eternity ago when you said that Silly Kyle was stock tanking, sitting at 3 stocks at low percent. He did not lose a single one of those stocks until, like, even going into the end of the game.
Right. So, Blue Team is going to have to do a much better job of closing in on S2J and making sure that he can't run rampant around Wobbles. And really, that's going to fall mostly to Axe, because Wobbles is he has to have a very static space.
He wants to set up a fortress.
Exactly. He needs to establish himself on stage and not move. So if Blue Team can get center stage, it can be very difficult for Red Team to encroach on that.
But that's why S2J has been doing such a good job of getting in on Wobbles, not letting him set up that fortress that he wants, moving him to the side of the stage, and basically giving Red Team extreme stage control.
Not to mention that the matchup is garbage against Peach as well. These are two characters that destroy the Ice Climbers. Silly Kyle, I believe, is sitting on a Stitch face. Oh, no, it's not.
Nope.
I'm sorry, I'm bad at seeing those.
Well, Silly Kyle just there stood on the ledge, threw out 3 down smashes because there was so much commotion going on. Both members of the blue team wanted to converge on that space.
Ooh. We've got Wobbles off stage. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it back too safely. Okay, Axe is able to just sit there in shield, occupy that space in such a way that S2J could not safely complete the edge guard. So good save from blue team. They have a slight lead at the moment, but they are both at high percent, and if they die here, then they are actually behind.
Wobbles doing a really good job there, staying on ledge, staying safe, but he will lose his stock anyway. But for a little bit, that was looking really good, waiting for Axe to come back so they can set back up into a team fight and not try to go into a 2v1 that would result in a lost stock. And oh my gosh, Johnny is going to knee his own teammate.
Blue team absolutely doing the right thing there. You saw them just sitting back, completely ignoring Silly Kyle and 2v1ing S2J. That's what they need to do. And really, they would have hoped to get a stock off that rather than being in the position they're in right now, where Wobbles is very much... his offensive power is neutered at this point.
Now, Axe saw the danger there of Johnny sitting up on the mountain, just pinning Wobbles down there. So Axe left the fight with Silly Kyle actually. Oh, baby!
That was like one of those resets that Wobbles does with Nana, only Axe helped him do it instead. He got grab to up smash to re-grab, I believe. Axe still flying around. I think one other problem with Pikachu Ice Climbers is that Axe, he plays a very fluid, movement-based Pikachu, which means that he's not going to stay in any one place, which means he's not going to control any one place. He thrives more on mixing up his opponents by, what's the word I'm looking for? Target switching.
Okay.
So if he has to like stick to a space, the best he can kind of do sometimes is just like shield there and hope that somebody hits him with something that's not safe on shield.
Oh, who goes up and down smashes both his teammate and Johnny there.
Definitely did a lot more damage to Wobbles there than he did to S2J. But blue team is still in a lead. They have done a better job of attacking S2J. If that had killed Silly Kyle, it would have maintained the lead. But now, I don't know. Let's see what Silly Kyle can do to Axe right now.
Now Wobbles at very high percent, but not afraid to wave dash in, go get the down smash on S2J, and grab Silly Kyle for Axe to run up and get the up smash.
That is definitely a situation where it is safe to 2v1 the Peach. All right.
Wow, Silly Kyle had Axe pinned up against the corner right there. Good out of shield selection by Axe. But all of a sudden, he's on the other side of the stage. That's why we're seeing, you know, Axe and S2J, both heavy movement players. They will go from one side of the stage to the other in a flash, and Axe will take that stock and end Johnny's life. Oh my gosh!
Nice.
Silly Kyle was drifting out of the way of the up air from Wobbles and gets hit with the thunder.
Very, very nice. All right, so blue team is able to take that one back. So they're on the board, and they have shown that they're perfectly capable of taking a game if they need to. So this should be pretty close. Now, the question is, how well do Silly Kyle and S2J do on this counter pick? This is what they should perceive to be their second. I don't know. Would they use their strong counter pick here, or would they use their second counter pick? Assuming that it's going to go to game 5.
I would honestly say use your strong counter pick now, but again, we talked about earlier how, you know, there's a reason that you and I aren't in this match. These are very talented players, and we cannot do them justice to everything that's going through their heads right now.
I'm just speculating about why they chose this stage. The recovery will definitely hurt the Ice Climbers a bit, and it doesn't really have that much of an effect on Captain Falcon or Peach. This is Axe's favorite stage in the game. We used to call it Battle Axe. So, Peach, Falcon, why would they want to go here? The blast zones are relatively big, and they don't have Dreamland anymore, so I guess there's that.
Well, Silly Kyle
Maybe that's the reason. That's probably the reason. They didn't want to get gimped by Axe.
I mean, Silly Kyle back there had a great edge guard on Nana, but then Axe came in to give the up smash, but Silly Kyle just rolled out of the way right in time, and Axe actually ended up up smashing Wobbles there, which is why Wobbles is sitting at such high percent right now, and they're both pinned to the ledge, having so much trouble trying to get back.
Yeah,
okay,
the red team has a very, very nice edge guard worked out there. Silly Kyle is just sitting back there saying, I have center stage. He's pulling turnips, and that's important because they allow him to control more space. They allow him to control the space in more situations. He can follow up on the turnip throw with a move that knocks them back even further if he needs to.
But this is a smaller stage, and Axe does have the ability to get to him before he's able to really do anything with that turnip, and that up smash is going to steal the stock.
So we actually have Silly Kyle going down first. He is down 2 stocks compared to S2J, who has only lost 1. So that's a very different dynamic from what we saw in Game 1. Game 1, Silly Kyle had 3 stocks at the end of the game. Silly Kyle does not get the edge guard on Nana. Nana will make it back. But Popo is dead, so that doesn't really matter. Nana not able to get in there and interfere with her blast.
Is that a gimp from Axe? That is.
Very, very even.
We have a dead even game. Again, we have another cluster by the ledge. Is Johnny going to run off and try to get the knee on Wobbles?
Yeah,
that
Wobbles is in a lot of trouble right now. Axe is finally able to get in and interrupt, but Wobbles lost his Nana the whole time. So, in the meantime, pardon me.
Woo! But
Yeah,
Wobbles is going to make it in there with the down air, but it's not enough to stop S2J.
Man, the sound of the knee combined with the sound of Pikachu screaming is truly a brutal sound. Shoutouts to Melee's sound design. All right, so blue team is behind for the first time, I believe, during this game. Able to get a lot of percent on S2J there, but not able to finish the stock. And we may have just lost Nana. I was surprised that Axe didn't go off and try and save Nana for Wobbles.
And Wobbles was not confident enough to leave that situation he was in and try to go grab Nana, especially sitting at 60%, putting himself off stage against S2J or Silly Kyle. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but Axe, I would have expected Axe to go for it because Axe has that crazy Pikachu recovery, but he's dead.
But now Wobbles is left in a 2v1 with S2J at 0% without his Nana. This is not looking great for him.
Yeah, it does. What it does do, being without the Nana, is free him up to move a little bit more because he doesn't have to worry about keeping Nana close to him. So you'll actually often see Ice Climbers become a lot more mobile once they lose their Nana. Sopo is much speedier a character than the Ice Climbers as a pair. But as you can see, didn't really help that much.
So Axe and Wobbles now with the counter pick. Okay, we're looking for Final Destination here. Honestly,
so exactly
really
what I expected, really. This is one of Axe's favorite stages, one of the first places he will always counterpick. And, you know, it's the Ice Climbers on FD.
Ice Climbers, of course, fantastic on this stage. But Axe also, if he's able to get a situation like this where he knocks Silly Kyle up in the air, he and Wobbles can really work together to just keep that juggle going and put on a lot of percent and maybe convert onto some stocks just from those situations right there.
Yeah. So there was an unfortunate team kill there. Wobbles got in a bit too close to this forward smash and killed Axe in addition to S2J. Or not S2J, Silly Kyle, pardon me. They both have S in their names. Axe going all the way across the stage with those neutral airs actually left Wobbles alone. I actually didn't agree with going in that direction for Axe because he was leaving Wobbles alone in an edgeguard situation.
Axe the only one left alive while everyone's on the platform, just trying to figure out the best place to position himself in that situation.
Also waiting out the invincibility because if they drop early, well, you're giving the other team an advantage. So Axe just left there to figure things out for himself. It's that moment from Star Wars Episode 1 where they're sitting behind the energy walls. That's what I liked in that too.
Well, if you saw there, Wobbles went back onto the stage using the side B by the Ice Climbers. Because of Johnny's positioning, there was not actually a whole lot he could do by that, except for go for the crouch cancel in that situation. But since Wobbles just went right past him, there wasn't really much that could be done in terms of punish on that recovery.
One thing that I'm noticing that Wobbles is doing, I'm looking at his behavior compared to Axe, and he's really ignoring Axe for the most part. He's understanding that Axe has this team's awareness and that if he is needed and if Axe can possibly get there, he will get there. and he's just trusting Axe to be there when he needs him. But what that's also doing is that he's retreating quite a bit, which puts him in the corner, which puts him in a bunch of desperate situations against Silly Kyle and S2J.
Now, I was really a fan of that situation back there where Wobbles' Sopo stood in place, threw out the side B, threw out that blizzard, the down B, threw out that blizzard, and as S2J decided, instead of running away, he decided he wanted to jump over the blizzard, Axe just came in with a forward air and set up stage control that way. Axe jumping into a 2v1 right now while Wobbles attempts to recover. Silly Kyle's going to go and try to stop that recovery. Wobbles sitting at 160%. Woo!
And S2J KOs Wobbles off the top, but is not quite able to finish off Axe. Pikachu, arguably the best recovery in the game. There are people who will contest that. Some will say it's Pichu instead. Some will say it's Pikachu. Some say Jigglypuff. I disagree.
More and more as the set goes on, we see Wobbles finding himself on just more 2v1 situations.
Which I think works out for Axe, doesn't work out for Wobbles. So it's a matter of whether Axe taking those 1v1s is worthwhile. We're seeing Axe taking the 1v1 a lot, up until the point where Wobbles gets threatened and then running off to help him. S2J in a 2v1, this is a situation he could conceivably win.
Wobbles still has
if he's able to finish off Wobbles and then get a knee or something on Axe, it could be done. It's not likely.
Exactly the kind of ledge work we've been
Doable,
seeing
though.
from Axe and Wobbles all tournament. Axe will go to the ledge and Wobbles will play right on the edge of the stage.
Axe trying to go for the wobble there.
I mean, we saw it happen earlier with Dizkid, Sopo, and Tai.
Yeah. See, lots of ice climbers here today.
Lots of really good ice climbers here today.
Yeah. Oh wait, Shifty didn't show up. That sucks.
He was here for a little bit yesterday, but he didn't enter.
I see. All right, so Axe takes that stock. I completely agree. Pikachu is absolutely the 2v1 character. Oh no!
Oh no!
Axe KOing Wobbles.
Now it's a 1v1.
It's a 1v1.
Axe versus S2J.
Now, Axe historically has the better record against S2J, but this is one stock. This is as volatile as Melee gets, and Axe just got grabbed. He's in a bad position off the ledge. S2J overcommits. Axe is in with a forward tilt. Should be able to finish up the edge guard here. Oh no, he does it! He gets the
center of the
reverse
stage.
hit.
He is now up in the air. Johnny has the advantage, has him off stage, and Axe goes to the ledge
grabs
and
it.
misses it.
He pops off. Silly Kyle and S2J take it 3-1 over Axe and Wobbles.
Oh my god.
If you can call anything in this set an upset, that was it. 3-1 Silly Kyle and S2J over Axe and Wobbles, the bros from AZ. Whew. So we should be seeing, let's see, we saw loser semis, so now Axe and Wobbles have just dropped to play Tai and Dizkid Boogie in loser. So we're going to have 2 ice climbers. We're going to have 6 characters on screen.
Ooh, that sounds like a lot to watch.
This is going to be interesting. I've seen high-level Icy's Dittos before, and those are very interesting. So seeing that dynamic in teams should be doubly interesting. There's going to be a lot. It's going to be a cluster on screen. We're going to see. I think this is going to be hard for Tai to navigate. Axe is very good at navigating really close, scrappy situations, and that's all that's going to be happening here. But Tai has a sword that he needs to swing all the way around. Those long arcs